Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of Waifu Wars. I am the the
The
coworker that
Kowaka.
sabotaged the coworker that sabotaged yours into feeding her child poisonous cereal. Drooby
And I am the co-host who doesn't have sex with everyone who, or wouldn't drink someone's vomit to have sex with them. Soberoni.
Wow.
Just want to clear that up before we get to it.
Okay, welcome back.
Rescind these allegations.
to the Waifu Wars podcast. We're talking about all things anime, the good, the bad, and the weeb. Except for your waifu, because your waifu is throw
Trashy.
up.
Yeah, that too.
How you doing, Oni?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Drew?
I am also good. From the sound of your voice, did the Eagles win?
No, they're still
Oh.
playing, and it's a very close game. So I'm
Okay.
suffering silently.
Okay, thank you. Please do not scream.
If I
into
spontaneously scream into the mic at some point during this podcast, you know why.
the mic. Please don't.
Headphone warning. Headphone warning for the whole podcast. Just don't have your headphones.
Well, that's crazy because I kind of don't have a choice. Please don't deafen me. But yeah. This morning started out rough. Bit of a emergency, so I had to get up super early. I was like, but then I got home later in the afternoon, and I started, excuse me, doing some work. So I watched stuff for the podcast, and I just took a nap. I took a nap for an hour and a half, and that was exactly what I needed.
That's good. That's nice.
That I didn't even like. I think probably the last half an hour, I didn't even want to go to sleep. I was just like, let me just lie here. It was great. So yeah, I'm all wrapped up and ready to go. With that being said, we're gonna jump right into the podcast with our news segment this week in anime. Yeah, a lot of interesting
news.
things to talk about. So yeah. First things first. Masamune-kun's Revenge R anime's first promo video reveals spring 2023 premiere. Masamune-kun's Revenge is an anime that came out like at least
a
5 years
bajillion
ago.
years ago.
Right, at least the minimum 5 years ago. So it was very shocking when we first heard that this was coming back, but now we finally get a second season with the date, which is spring 2023.
Yes. I think it was one of the first shows we covered on the podcast too. It was like one of the first seasons.
Yeah, it's either one of the first ones or like right before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
So I am excited. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to see. They usually tell us at the bottom of the article when it aired. Launched in 2018, ended in 20 blah. Not the spin-off manga. Ended into the original anime. Okay, so I guess this is the only.
It's been so long they don't even remember.
Boom! No, found it. And you're right. This was the first. This was the first season of our podcast.
Damn, we old.
January 2017.
Woo! Yeah, you're right. The very first, back in the OG G&AREVIEWS podcast.
Oh my god!
Days before the Waifu War era.
Right. So yeah, I can't wait to go back to our literal roots.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Live action web show reinterprets Thomas the Tank Engine as a Japanese salaryman.
That's depressing.
So at first I was just like, oh, are they like, is this just a show about a salaryman who's just gonna have like the personality of Thomas the Tank Engine? No, it's something even more bizarre.
What?
Apparently it's gonna be like the same, the episode with the same lines, I believe.
Like from the episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine?
From the episode Thomas Tank Engine.
Are they allowed to do that? Is there like a copyright thing, or is this like officially sanctioned by the Thomas the Tank Engine brand?
No, this is from the brand itself. It's from the official Japanese YouTube account for the Thomas the Tank Engine franchise.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, it's so weird.
How does that work? Don't they mention trains in Thomas the Tank Engine?
so the story of what happens becomes like just like a big euphemism for something else. Like in this case, in the article that you guys can all check out, that'll be in the description. If you watch the clip, it'll show how in the original Thomas the Tank Engine, the episode is about him falling to like a hole, but in this Thomas the Salaryman show, it's about him falling into like obsessing over like gaming or something. Okay. I think it might be a gotcha. So like they're using that as like a euphemism.
You're in the gotcha hole.
Exactly. Like he fell into the hole. Exactly.
No. I can't believe I live in a timeline where Thomas the Tank Engine gets addicted to gotcha games.
And it's like, and they kind of have like a side by side, like in the corner, you'll see the actual episode from, so you can compare it to what's happening. So that's just like the little extra. That's so
intricate. Yeah, it's like they're going really hard for no reason.
I super want to watch it. And it has English subs. I'm actually going to open this up.
We might need to watch it.
I'm actually opening this up so I can watch it.
We're actually going to cover it on the podcast.
I wouldn't go that far.
We're dropping Eminence of Shadow.
Oh, Savior, I didn't.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
No, wow.
I'm just saying it's a joke. We're not. We're not
direct all the hate, Savior. Direct all the hate to Oni. Yeah. Now for the third news. And while this isn't directly anime related, it has to do with idols. I'm just like, tomato. Like it's weeb adjacent.
Exactly.
Former AKB48 idol Miki Nishino marries comedian Keiichi Yamamoto. So, basically announced this a couple days, 5 days ago, that they've been married. Here's the gag. At first I looked at this, I was like, oh, that's cute. And then they're like, yeah, Nishino is 23. Yamamoto is 54. I said, oh.
There's a bit of an age gap.
Oh, I don't know. You're the age. You're the person who's like, I don't see age.
Listen, as long as they're both consenting adults, it's a bit strange, but I'm not like, she can make her own decisions.
Right. And listen, as long
some people like older guys or older
as long as she's written to the will. That's all I care about. But yeah, so apparently that according to the article, they began to grow more intimate in March 2022 and would eat out together. And then Nishino was like, oh my gosh, do I actually like you? And maybe your money. But yeah, apparently it just happened organically. And
that's
then nice. Excuse me. Apparently Yamamoto proposed to her about like 50 times. And then they eventually got married. The gag was apparently they were on a Amoeba variety show in 2020. They participated in a joke where they were pretending to be a couple. So I'm just like, yeah, the y'all spoke into existence. This last paragraph kind of was like, that's the only, like, this would have been like, okay, whatever, get your money, girl, and I would move on with my life. This last paragraph was like, So Yamamoto joined the Yoshimoto Kogyo comedy group in 1989. However, in 2006, the group terminated his contract after he faced sexual assault charge against a 17-year-old girl. The charge was settled out of court, and he returned to agency in 2016, and he is active as a YouTube entertainer. Needless to say that a few alarms went off in my head. I'm just like, you know, you got charged in 2006. How old is he then? We'll say about like 20-ish years ago. So probably like 36-ish. I'm doing rough math. So it's just like, you're old. So 20 years later, and you said, I'm grown. Let me pick a woman who's more mature, and only went up 6 years. I was like, ooh.
Again, my stance is, as long as they're, consenting adults, fair enough.
That's kind of.
I'm not going to be the stickler being like, you must date the person who's the exact same age as you. Listen, it's hard enough to find a girlfriend as it is. I ain't going to be that judgy about it. Like, you're 23 and I'm 25. Ugh.
That's not okay. It's not the case. This is like 30 years. This is 30 years, and the man already was charged with dating underage girls. So, ... I don't know. I got my eye on you. Listen, Nishino. If something's wrong, just blink.
Yeah.
I mean that too. If you ever find my number, I won't run to Japan to save you, but I'll call the cops in Japan. I'll hit the 119, and then it won't go anywhere because I don't live in Japan.
You gotta get that VPN software, man.
Right. So yeah, I was like, between that and the Time of the Tank Engine, I was like, oh, this is all very interesting. Because usually I feel like only in America or in the Western areas are they, every now and then someone dates someone like really younger. Like, I don't know, someone like Johnny Depp will date someone 30 years younger or 20 years younger, etc.
I think it's a universal thing. They do it a lot in Europe too. And China.
I guess so. Yeah.
Men everywhere like younger women.
I guess so. Youth is ever fleeting, which is why we chase it down.
Deep. Too deep for this podcast.
Right, exactly. Like I just turned 30. That kind of hurt my feelings. Even though I said it. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna try something new. I talked about it only real shortly last night, and I said that instead of having the oh my god, I forgot the name of the segment, the filler arc. It's so much filler, I forgot it existed. Instead of putting the filler arc at the end, I kind of want to put it at the start, only because I feel like when we talk about the news, it's a more
natural transition.
It's more natural transition. Like we're already having like a
we've done it a few times too, so it's like
yes, exactly. We've done it by accident, and then it just kind of happened being.
It's so natural that it occurs accidentally sometimes.
Exactly. So I decided, moving forward, let's try this out and see how this works for us. That being said, I honestly just want to talk about Mob Psycho for a little bit, and this won't take too long because I'm in the middle of season 3. I watched seasons 1 and 2, and I've got to say, I was really shocked because I feel like very much like Oni, I was kind of just taken aback by the animation. Everyone looks so derpy. Like let's just be honest. Everyone just has very derpy facial expressions. more or less.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Well, things I did not expect. And this is what I love about Mob Psycho. And cuz Mob Psycho is, I feel like, very much juxtaposed to a lot of our favorite shonen MCs. So the difference is between Mob and the rest of them is, while I feel like Goku, Naruto, etc., they will grow in power more or less. You know, they're like, I'm going Super Saiyan 3, 5, 20, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they don't really change. They're more or less the same person. They just get stronger. In this anime, I like the concept that in terms of Mob's power, like he's already like he starts out in like One Punch Man, like he's already Super Saiyan 20. Like clearly the strongest. But that's not what they focus on. A lot of this focuses on his development as just like a 12-year-old boy. And like trying to like grow up while having these powers, while being surrounded by people who know about his powers, who try to use him for his powers, and him just trying to navigate that, or not even being aware that he's being manipulated. It is such an immense journey of like growth and change. And like his powers are just like kind of a part of the ride. Sometimes they're like a major part of it. But then sometimes sometimes the most impactful scenes will just be about him like realizing something about himself and how he matures, how he uses his powers, how he doesn't use his powers, how people perceive him, you know. And I light spoilers, but for example, in the first season, he decides to join up in like a bodybuilding club. And he first, like any kid, he's like, "Oh, I just want to do this so I can look good for this girl," because he doesn't even like see the value in his powers. He's like, I don't want. He's like, yeah, I have powers and all. That's great, but I want to get this girl's attention, and girls like guys that look, you know, in shape. But then even with that, like that's like just like the start to his whole journey. You know, everyone looks at him who knows he's a psychic, and they're like, "Why are you even bothered? Why are you bother exercising? Like you're a psychic. You're like super strong. Why even bother doing this?" And it kind of get to see his reasoning, and you get to see how he views his powers, how everyone else views his powers, everyone's perspectives on it. It's so fascinating. It's really fascinating. Like this is like it's kind of going more towards the Hunter x Hunter route in terms of like the exposition and the exploration of these characters, and I really love it. It's a really well thought out anime. It was surprisingly good. The fight scenes are just it's really what any anime fan would want, especially if they're younger. Just a bunch of laser beams. Laser beams firing everywhere. Pretty solid animation in general. Yeah. All in all, this is a really strong like shonen anime. This is something I would show my kids, because you know, at the end of the day, Mob Psycho, a lot of it's just teaching people how to be human and how to do the right thing. regardless of a power that you can abuse. It's a surprisingly very wholesome anime.
It's fair enough. Like I
Yeah,
said,
I know. I'm not trying to tell you to watch it.
I just want to say, like, no, I'm sure it's good. Because I know people are gonna ask me to watch it. I just can't get over the art. So it's One Piece to me. It's the whole One Piece dilemma. I'm like, it could be the best anime in the world ever made, but it's just I can't with that art style. It's too simplistic. And it's weird because I watch other shows that have really simplistic art styles that are just like stupid, like Pop Team Epic, or even I'm trying to think of another stupid art style I watch. But anyway, I watch other stuff. But there's something that rubs me the wrong way when it's like really, I guess, undetailed. Because I'm like I'm looking through a few scenes now. Like they'll do hyper realistic art style on some scenes and it looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
But then other scenes will just be like the most plain looking, like I drew it, like that type of style. So
I don't know. I don't know. I feel
it.
like I kind of like it because, like you said, when shit gets hype, all of a sudden, even depending on his mood, like he'll look like a completely different person. Which it's almost as if to be like, oh, he's not. I feel like the way Mob is drawn to compare, like when he's just being normal, going through his day, compared to like when he fights. I think it's very intentional because, like, as those more serious battles go on, it gets more, and like you see him changing a little bit more. Like the more serious the battle, the less he looks like himself, and he just changes. Like there's an actual like a full body transformation. Like within like whatever is happening inside of him, like his emotions, through the art style, it will actually change, which I think is pretty cool. Also, it's not that long. Like it's like I was like no to my Mob Psycho because I was like, oh my god, I don't want to watch 50 episodes of this or like 100 episodes. No, it's literally just each season's 12 episodes. I was like, oh, this is light work. Like I knocked them out. I knocked it out in like, I think I saw most season 1 in one night because it was that compelling. I was like, I just need to see how this ends. So yeah. Okay. Very much enjoyed Mob Psycho. I'm pretty sure most people who are listening to this watch it. But if you haven't and you're in the mood of something very surprisingly insightful, definitely check out Mob Psycho. You will learn a thing or two.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right. That being said, let's move on to our weekly reviews, and we're gonna start off with Chainsaw Man episode 7.
The opposite of Mob Psycho.
The
anti-Mob Psycho.
The anti-Mob Psycho. Man. This could have been my episode of the week.
Is it for me? I think. Yeah, I think this would be my episode of the week.
I think I'm gonna split it. It would be my episode of the week flat out, but I can't. The throw up was just too much.
It's my episode of the week for the throw up. Throw up was great.
That like I get same. It's like you only get half of it because of the throw up, but you can't get the whole thing also because of the throw up. So Denji fights and beats the devil.
Through a long process of fighting.
Yes, literally spends 3 days of just hacking and slashing and healing himself by drinking the blood. The devil was like, yeah, I don't like getting hurt like this for 3 days straight. And he's like, yeah, you can just kill me.
Please end me.
Which they do. They recover the bullet. And I love how it ended so quickly. I was like, oh my god, it ended so quickly. That was almost anticlimactic. But You got something so much better.
Yeah, it was like a what'd you call it? A bait and switch. It was like you thought the episode was gonna be a fight between the devil and Denji. Nope, that was just the beginning. That was the appetizer.
Yes. Also, I'm pretty sure after this, Himeno might actually be my favorite character. She might actually beat Makima. Like they're neck and neck. But I think Himeno might be in the lead for now.
Yeah, she's also becoming my favorite. Which well, of course, Power's still number one, but which means I got a lot of. I don't know if it was just me, but I got a lot of death flags from Himeno this episode.
Oh, you know why it keeps flashing back to her?
Yeah, you keep giving her backstory. I didn't like the way I already am sus of Makima, and I didn't like the way Makima was looking at her the one scene. I wouldn't be surprised if Makima just like sent her on a suicide mission or some shit.
I also wouldn't, because she's like, I need to control Denji.
You can't be the one fighting for like. She's clearly trying to like take Denji from her. She even says at the end, like, "Oh, I think you're too close to Makima."
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't understand Himeno's motives. Makima's are very obvious, but Himeno's is kind of a little all over the place.
Well, I think Himeno wants to. Well, first off, I think Himeno's just drunk.
Yeah, right. Once there's alcohol, right? I was trying to understand because when I think
blame it on the alcohol. I think it's partially like she's kind of a complex character because what I got from her is partially alcohol, also partially she's clearly jealous that so many people are after Makima, especially Aki, because she wants to fuck Aki.
I think she really likes Aki,
and this is another way of her being like kind of like a roundabout way of getting to Makima, like, oh, if you want to take my man, I'll take your man. Right. So I think that's part of it. And also she also wants Denji because she wants somebody who can take on devils to like keep her and Aki and the squad safe. I guess she'll feel like, oh, if I can just fuck him, I have control over him.
Yeah, because she did after he like almost died, she like restarted him with her ghost hand. Which, by the way, is a really broken wombo combo.
Oh yeah, that is crazy broken. Just leave the hand floating next to him, like to start him up whenever he needs it.
Right. So yeah, I feel like her motivations they're not as they're more, how do you say, dire kind of. like it's like it feels like there's like a big spot of mess with Himeno, and that's why I like it. Feels very human as opposed to Makima, who just gives sociopath.
Yeah, Makima's like a calculated, controlling, manipulative sociopath, and Himeno's kind of just like a messy individual who like has her fingers in all the little pies of drama, the drama pies.
Exactly, because she just doesn't want. She just wants the way to kill the Gun Devil. She doesn't want Aki to die. She thinks Denji is the key. She likes Aki. Like it's all like it's like this weird. There's a whole conglomeration of like random motivations from Himeno.
And Kobeni is just trying to survive.
Kobeni with that. First of all, that I will admit that outfit was very Japan of her.
Yeah, she looked fashionable.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was very Japan. It was very Japan of her. That's all.
I will say she moved a couple of ring ups in my character ladder. She was extremely cute this episode, especially her voice at the end where she was like,
"Yes, I know."
Little mouse Pikachu voice, cute.
Yes, I know. That was.
Sorry, I'm a sucker for cute voices.
Yes, it's gonna be a lot harder to win me over, Kobeni. It still should have been you.
Oh no, I feel like Kobeni's gonna kill Himeno.
or Makima just sends Kobeni to her death. Oh my god. Oh,
I hope not.
I know I shouldn't be so happy at the thought of that, but
or maybe Himeno dies trying. I don't know. I don't think she's like that. You know what's fun about this show? I know
Kobeni's not gonna die.
I just feel like none of the characters in the show, aside from Aki saving Denji are like noble characters. Like I was gonna say maybe Himeno dies saving Kobeni or something. I'm like, she wouldn't fucking do that.
No, absolutely
no
not.
one would sacrifice their life in this show for anyone else outside of like just needing them for some other reason. Like there are no noble characters in the show.
Yeah. No, yeah. Homeboy just saved Denji because he's like, Denji's the only one who can literally save us.
Yeah, I need him.
Save us and potentially kill Gun Demon or Devil, excuse me. Interesting conversation. It was cool meeting the rest of the members, even though I don't remember their names of some of the characters.
The guy was Arai, I think. Arai?
Well, I mean, besides the ones that we know.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think the other ones are gonna live long anyway.
Right. I like that. I like that older woman.
Yeah.
She seemed real cool.
She did.
She was real sweet, and she was like really nice to Kobeni, even though Kobeni doesn't deserve it.
So I think what's gonna happen is Drew's gonna be the resident Kobeni hater, and I'm gonna slowly warm up to her as long as she doesn't backpedal and do something stupid.
It's gonna take a lot for me to not hate her. It's like it's already done. She's done too much.
Actually, funny thing, Orion told me that Kobeni in character polls, they had a couple apparently regularly. Her car beats her in the character poll.
Whose car?
Kobeni's car.
Beats Kobeni?
Yeah. More popular character.
That doesn't even make sense. What? How does her car
I don't know why her car is even in the character poll.
Okay. Sure. But yeah, this is a very fun episode. Oh god, how can we even stop talking about or finish this conversation without mentioning the epic moment where Himeno drunkenly goes in for the kiss. And it's so funny because I think Oni, you said it in jest. You're just like, you're gonna kiss, yeah, she's gonna throw up in your mouth.
No, I think that was Nocturne.
Oh,
I was not anticipating a throw until he said it, and I was like, "Oh wait, yeah." Then I started seeing the signs where she was like all wobbly and like clearly fucked up.
But then as he started describing it, and you know what really got me, what really made me nauseous about that whole scene?
What?
The swallow. Oh
yeah, that was the worst. Even it being censored kind of was like, I don't want to see it uncensored, but I feel like the censor didn't help much because it was somehow censored, but still very graphic at the same time. Like you can see it like dripping out of her mouth, and you see like little chunks in it and stuff.
The chunks. Oh, I saw the chunks.
The sound design, they went super hard for some reason. I swear to God, they must have like got the guy who voiced Denji drunk and like recorded him vomiting in the studio for that scene or something, because it sounded very realistic.
Yeah, like it was so disgusting. Apparently people were mad that it was censored. Whoever's mad that it was censored, y'all are gross.
Release the uncensored version.
Y'all are gross, and you First Amendmenters need to chill. This is something that can, like, no one wants to see throw up.
Also, funny thing, I got kind of not spoiled, but, well, I didn't know the context of it, but I was on Twitter earlier in the week, and I had to leave immediately because I saw everyone throwing a hissy fit about Predator, about Himeno being a predator. So that was fun. And like people were like, I can't believe Himeno would try to have sex with a 16-year-old, but then also like posting, man, Makima and Denji should be hooking up.
Yeah, because this episode we learned about his age.
Yeah, he's 16, which I figured he was like younger. In that age range. I thought he would be like between 15 and 18.
I thought he'd be a little bit older than 16. I thought he'd be like maybe like 18,
I was
20.
if you
But
pressed me, I'd be like 17 or 18. You just Japanese anime, they're all 17 or 16 or 15.
right. Yeah, that was.
I don't know how old Himeno is, but I'm guessing a lot older than 16.
Yeah. See how she can drink. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's definitely 20 at least.
Also,
So,
yeah, no. If you're angry at Himeno, you gotta take that same energy to Makima.
I'm not mad at Himeno,
I'm not
even
mad
though
at either of them. I'm rooting for my boy Denji. I want him to get some. All right, he deserves it.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at her. I will be looking at her weird if she actually fucked him, but
I don't think. I think she's gonna throw up on him, or he's gonna throw up on her.
No, there's no she must be piss poor drunk.
I'm
I don't think
90% sure he's gonna throw up on her from the start of next episode.
Ain't no way. Like sober her would be like, yes, I want Denji. Oh yeah, this dumb 16-year-old boy. Like no. So yeah, that I did keep that. That was in the back of my head when I saw the scene. So I'm just like, oh my god. I was in my mind. I was like, oh my god, please don't fuck him. Please don't fuck him. Please don't fuck him. Please don't fuck him. Oh, it's gonna be so weird. And they didn't. So yay. Also, with Makima, I'm pretty sure like Makima is like to me, she's already kind of a villain. So it's like her having her having sex with a minor.
That's like the least villainous thing she's gonna
that's like the least villainous thing she's gonna do. Like she's already not a good person. So in my mind. So yeah. So I wouldn't be. I'm not gonna be shocked if she would resort to such things.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, this is a good episode. Can't wait for next week.
Me too. I'm kind of sad it's only 12 episodes. I need to be more.
Yeah.
At least I'm trying to do a second season.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Up next, we have Spy Family Part 2, Episode 9, where we meet my homegirl Fiona Frost.
That's such a cool name too.
It is. It's really badass. It's the only name that's cooler than Lloyd Forger. But yeah, she's a spy that works with Lloyd. And very early on, especially with the conversation with the handler, we realized that for some reason she really wanted to take your spot as Lloyd's wife. Which I was like, okay. I was like, huh, she really, really wants to do this job right for some reason. After a hilarious scene where we see you're fucking up the breakfast, where she burns an egg and somehow fucks up cereal. How do you fuck up cereal?
Listen, I'll give her a pass. Maybe she used some spoiled milk. Maybe I don't know, stale cereal. It happens.
No. Oh my god, you should know when your milk goes bad, and you should not feed it to your kid. That is wild. I was like, that was wild. Also hilarious. But after your reflects on her ability to cook, she finally meets Fiona, and yeah, they have a conversation where Fiona is trying to kind of sow some seeds of worry, of anxiety, trying to make her some seeds of self-doubt. And she almost starts to succeed. But luckily, Lloyd comes back. And Lloyd and Anya come back. And Anya learns that not only is she a spy, she also learns that she is like basically yandere for Lloyd.
Yeah, she really wants that Lloyd role.
I believe you said it, Oni, during a live watch that she's basically Yuri for Lloyd.
Yeah, 100%. And Ryan said in the same we were saying that they're a crack ship, Yuri and Fiona. So I'm like, yeah, I can see that. They're basically a copy of each other, but for their respective counterparts.
Yeah, which I love. I love it in different ways because she's not. I like that she's not exactly copy and paste.
Mm-hmm. Like they're different enough. Like at least she's a more cold. Like Yuri's way more emotional. It's like way over the top, and she's very subdued and like menacing.
Yes, exactly. But then, thanks to Anya's power, we get to see into her head, which is the complete opposite. Like it was very funny. Like you could hear the voice changing, and she's like, "I," and all that stuff.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's a simple concept to have like Anya be a telepath and read people's minds, but it does so much for the show to make it like so
really
uniquely
it hard
funny.
carries.
Yeah, it's OP. If this was a tier list, Anya would be OP. She contributes too much comedy value to the show.
Period. Yeah, Liz is just looking inside her head and just she's so hung up over Lloyd. And I like this is the first time where Anya's like showing hostility to like another grown up in such an obvious way. I love when she was just like, "No, I love my family. My family is so great. They're so good." And then she looks at she's at Fiona and she hisses.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh, maybe she doesn't know you." I'm like, like that's the reason. So yeah, this was very funny episode. I feel like it went by so quick. Well, to be fair, that the credits was like a mini episode in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was very enjoyable in the sense
I wonder if that was a filler. Like, was that part of the manga, or was that just because it felt like it was fillery, but it felt like good filler.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like it was an anime original scene because it was like so short and sweet, but it was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. I like the relationship building between Bond and Anya.
Yeah, you mean Borf and Anya?
Yeah, sorry, Borf. I keep messing up his name.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Poor penguin.
Yeah. Yo, he fucked that penguin up. When York tried to put it back up, and it just looked like zombie decrepit penguin.
Yeah, she's just like, "Oh no!" Anya's like, "You made it deader."
You made it deader. I'm like, damn. Sorry, you're literally only good at killing things. And whatever the fuck she does at work.
Filing.
Right. Killing and filing.
I can only kill and file. It's my only skill set.
Yeah. It was very cute. The whole little moment where she's mad at Barf and then Barf tries to make it up with her with Peanuts. By the way, if I ever had a dog who was that smart, I'm just like, you're never leaving. I was like, you're never leaving.
I'm entering him in every dog contest.
I mean, I guess
that's prize money.
I mean, yeah, right. That is money. I'll ask Borf.
Well, yeah, I will get Borf's consent first.
Exactly, because you're that smart. I'm like, you can consent to things.
Use your future vision. Well, actually, he spoke this episode, so there you go.
Exactly. The first time we heard how he sounds like in his head, which really just sounds like Barf, if Barf was speaking English. Like, the voice didn't change. Penguin dog, Daikidai.
Fuck penguins.
Essentially.
They should have made his voice English, like he just for no reason.
Just English. Barf. Fuck that penguin.
Get me to do the voice. I'll do it.
Yeah. This is a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
As always.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Up next, we have My Hero Academia, season 6, episode 9.
Was this your episode of the week?
Yeah, I think so. My other episode of the week.
Yeah, I can see why.
Oh, this was a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. First of all,
knives don't work that way.
And even if they did, Aizawa, did the whole leg have to go?
Yeah.
You have to take the whole thing off. Literally, a whole amputation.
A whole hunk of leg.
Like the whole leg and foot had to go.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. And in the end, he was like, haha, you didn't look at me for 0.5 seconds because you cut your foot off.
You're too distracted cutting off your own leg.
time to rip your face off.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, that was wild to me. He literally had to rip the face off. I was like, oh my god, no, his face.
Rip his face off.
Yeah, when he grabbed his face, it looked a lot worse. Like, I thought he like literally ripping skin off.
It looked like he was like clawing like his eyes out. It was crazy.
Right.
That would actually be awesome though if he did claw. I love Aizawa and all, but that'd be really dope.
No, Aizawa has to be safe-ish.
If it was like, oh my god, what if that was the setup? Like, I knew you were gonna cut off your leg. I just wanted you to be distracted so that I can rip out your eyes and take your power away that way. Can't see me without your eyes.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what he did anyways.
Yeah, just he fucked it up. He didn't succeed.
Exactly. He regardless if that was his intention, either way, he got his desired outcome, which is Aizawa being unable to use his powers. However, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this was this a manifestation of a new quirk for Deku?
The floating?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's new, right?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
He's definitely never used it before.
Right, because I'm just like, I've never seen him float before. Like I was wondering, I'm like, why
literally
is he
just stealing what's her name's power, Ochako's.
Right.
Damn, talk about that Ochako nerf.
Because I'm seeing him lifting everyone in the air. I'm just like, I thought he was hoisting himself up with more of the tentacles. That was not the case. They just said, okay, he has a new quirk, and this is him practicing how to use it. Back to the fight.
Yeah, like it's like a post-hoc justification. Like, were you maybe wondering why he has this quirk? Quick flashback. Right.
Although I liked it wasn't just like a flash. The flashback was important for more than just him learning his quirk. It was, we got to see more of or hear more of Bakugo's insight, his motivations for helping Deku train, so as an atonement for how he treated Deku. So very, very good character building for that character. Character building for that character.
That is a sentence.
Redundant sentences. Redundant. But yeah, and then they had this whole sky battle and this is really cool. I like that Shigaraki has like the same weaknesses as Deku's One for All.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that like if he uses quirks too much, like it'll like rip his body apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's happening to Shigaraki, and Deku was able to capitalize on that by literally just pounding the shit out of him. And then what's his face? Endeavor helps on his back and is like explosion, and then sets that hoe on fire. Fortunately, at the last possible second, Shigaraki's like, fuck this, and gives All For One control.
Which I feel like he should have died a lot faster. Like he was basically a burnt husk by the point All For One took control. Like, dude, you're still alive.
And yet he is, and he proceeded to skewer not only Endeavor but also Bakugo. Bakugo saving Deku, which I was like, wow, that is, it's very full circle.
Yeah, I'm sure Bakugo will be fine though.
Oh yeah, no, it's Bakugo. He's not.
It's a flesh wound. He'll be fine.
Right. Like, listen, I've been reading a lot of Bleach.
Yeah,
and if they couldn't do, people from Bleach couldn't survive some of those wounds.
People in Bleach began like amputated and then coming back the next day like, I'm totally fine.
Like every fight, like they just get chunks ripped out of them. Chunks of them go missing every time.
Stabbed like 50 times. They just come back.
Literally,
I'm fine. It's been a
literally, literally. Today I was reading, and someone got like has like a star shaped hole in their chest.
That's cool.
Yeah, but not in like a cool
not
way,
for them.
like
cool for us.
Then someone fired a beam in the shape of a star and it impaled them horribly.
I'm worried more about Deku because he's using so much of his power. I'm just like, oh, he's literally just gonna explode next episode. Like when this all comes up, like catches up to him, his body was gonna evaporate from using all his power.
Yeah, because they did go back to the whole, hey girl, so you only have like a few more times to do this, and you just might end up handicapped for the rest of your life. But I don't think it's gonna happen now.
I feel like he's gonna lose his arms or something, because he's already set up as a character who's gonna be using his legs to fight a lot, because he's like all his moves are with his legs. I feel like he's just gonna lose the use of his arms, and then have to like learn to fight with his legs. Actually, you know what? This would be a good setup for if he learns to fight from Miriko, since he's gonna be using his legs. He should train under her.
Oh, interesting. What about his tentacles?
No, I don't know. Is there a tentacle hero?
I don't know. Like, yeah, like I was gonna use those. Are they gonna come out of his legs?
So. I mean, he doesn't even really need arms. Yeah, you can just use his tentacles. Arms are overrated.
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll find out next week.
Yes, we will.
All right, let's move on to Iruma-kun, season 3, episode 8.
Yes.
Poor pretty boy Agares being assaulted by the girls.
There's so many hot girls that want to stay the night with me. I can't believe I'm so unlucky.
Listen, you just want some sleep.
There's nothing I said in my sentence that contradicts that. These are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, and I don't know. We learned. I feel like Agares is definitely giving Super Tsundere vibes.
Oh yeah, he's Super Tsundere.
Yeah, so we kind of explore his relationship with Garp. Who apparently is just a nice person.
That's his character. I'm a nice guy.
Right. Yeah, he's just a nice guy.
Except like he's really a nice guy. I'm not saying that sarcastically.
Yeah, no, he's like super nice. Like ridiculously so. He in the flashbacks he's bringing what's his name, Agares, to school, feeding him, hanging out with him. I will say yeah, he's nice in my mind to a fault. Because why are you bringing strangers back to the whatchamacallit, the mansion?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would even be fine with you bringing them to a mansion. They just can't go indoors. They can be in the outside of the mansion, like behind the gate, but not inside the house.
Why not? Why not in the house?
I don't trust them.
Wow.
This is literally been about stealing each other's food.
Oh, I guess you have a point. Yeah.
Like if you're actually putting yourself at risk, that someone could be like, "Oh my god, you saved me! Let me thank you by stealing your food and dipping."
Mm.
And we're kind of in hell, so it's not like, oh, we have to be noble. It's like being noble is not exactly a desired trait, especially for this event. So I was like, oh, I feel for Agares, because I too would be like, no, you all actually have to leave.
I did like the Baka girl quintuplet that they had going. They were cute.
Yeah, they were. It was pretty cute. Still can maybe they could have stayed. I've been like,
they could
no,
definitely stay. They're cool. They're cool.
they can stay the night,
And they're also too dumb to do anything. So.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's so mean, but so true.
It's true though.
They really can't. They're very much useless. Oh yeah, not much happened this episode. It's very straightforward. Like,
yeah, it was cute. I mean, Iruma wasn't even really in it.
Yeah. Oh, and the mentors get defensive, or the students, they like have a little powwow, start drinking. They're like, "My son's gonna win. No, my son's gonna win. No, this is important. No, that's important."
No, Iruma is the best. It was nice seeing I forget her name now. Bachiko? Yeah, being like so like shy and non-assuming in the beginning, and then when they started talking shit, she was like, "Wow, actually, Iruma is the best fucking person. I'll beat the shit out of all of you."
Exactly. Give me a fucking beer.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. Yeah, I think that was it more or less. You know, episode's very middle of the road for me. And I can't, I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Same.
All right, let's move on to Eminence in Shadow, episode 8.
I actually like this episode though, despite my early quip about it.
Sid is so like, he's so annoying. So annoying. And he entertained me this episode, like just as a character overall, so annoying. Because he's like just looking at this game as like he's looking at this whole world like it's just a game. He does, but he does it like a little too much.
Yeah, it kind of like I get it, but then it's also like I feel like that's because they haven't built him up enough. Like we haven't seen enough of him to be like, oh, I like him as a character. You know, he just comes across as like pretentious, and obnoxious.
I mean, that's all they. But okay, but you said you haven't showed that different side of him, girl. On episode 8, I would like to see a different.
I know that's what I mean. That's like my major complaint of the series. We need to actually build him as a character, because that's my thing. Like I don't care. I care more about his harem than I do about him, because we've seen like slightly more character building on their end. I just feel like Sid is just here to just be the cool guy that talks down to everyone and is like having this weird plan about how he goes about and like I don't even know what his end goal is. He's just there and just does whatever he wants. Like he's playing a video game.
Right. It's like I think his goal is just to be like Magic Batman.
Yeah,
but
like, I want to be, but why?
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, yes, I'm gonna be the side character and get killed. Yeah,
that's like I don't get the point. Like if he wants to be like, what's the end goal? Like I just want to be Magic Batman. I want to be like the guy that's like a nobody in the day, but like super cool at night. But all right, For what reason, though? Like, so you can be popular? Clearly not, because you don't give a shit about any of the people in your school. So you don't want to be popular. You're not actively going against the evil organization. They just happen to be there, and you're fighting them. So I just I don't get the motivation. What is the motivation?
I don't understand. You're not even like really. You're not even. You aren't even using your own organization. You're not. You don't really command Eminence.
They use themselves. They just appear there.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, this is what's happening, and you're like, oh, hey, you like that's it. So yeah, I don't quite get it. Yeah, of course, naturally, I knew he was gonna come back from getting slashed.
Yeah, obviously. Although he did do it in a more interesting way than I thought. I thought it was just like another fake blood packet or something.
Yeah, me too. Nope, he did it in a more obnoxiously OP way, where he's just like, yeah, I can keep my blood pumping with magic.
And stop my heart for like 10 minutes or whatever. I'm like, but why? Why?
Right. So yeah. Oh, rip the Crimson Knights. They're supposed to be so badass, and they just got pwned very quickly. Like yeah, Sherry being. I will say Sherry being so like obviously bad sneaking around.
That was the funny. That was the best part of the episode to me. Just like
Yeah.
watching her try to sneak around and watching Sid like kill all the people for her. Like just like some. I could actually see that being a section in a video game. Like kill all the guards before they spot Sherry.
Yeah, and then he just gets in. He's like, "You really suck at sneaking around. Stop talking to yourself. Take off these loud ass slippers."
Yeah, like sneaking around in flip flops.
Right. You can imagine me trying to do a core mission Nike slides.
Yeah.
Oh, we learned that the artifact that they have is an artifact that not only does it neutralize magic, it absorbs it until it's full, and then it explodes. So I guess it's gonna just turn into a bomb and nuke the school. However, they're going to stop it with Sherry's with Sherry's artifact, which can also absorb magic.
Yes.
I don't know, when they start talking about like the main stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I tune out so hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like gibberish.
Like
here's our magic.
I have to look back and listen to it like
our magic MacGuffin that does the thing we need it to do for this specific instance.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that is happening. The fact that we don't even see Sherry's dad is only strengthening the hypotheses that, you know, the main bad guy is her dad.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. He wasn't in this episode at all.
At all. So I'm just like, okay, got it. It's truly the Knight. I'd be shocked if it wasn't him at this point.
Yeah, same.
I just, part of me hopes it's not. I
don't know if the show is going to be that creative though. Like I would say that's like maybe it's one of those things where they're like making him the obvious villain just so that they can like pull the rug from under us. But I don't know if the show is that creative.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Personally. I don't know. I just feel bad because she seems so close with her dad, and now her dad's gonna die or go to jail.
You know what's gonna suck? They're gonna be like, it's okay because you have Sid, and the next arc she's gonna like disappear off the face of the earth and never be seen again.
Yeah, or worse, be like, oh, my dad's gone, but I have you. I love you.
Yeah, like, I love you. Oh,
which is also kind of wild. I guess.
Also, there's the blonde girl who loves him now too, or thinks he loves her.
Oh yeah, right.
Why are we adding to his harem? Like he already has a whole harem of like ninjas. He doesn't need any more people in his harem.
No, a more harem of girls that he's going to not interact with. It's literally how it works.
Like, we want all the characters that
he has a growing harem of women that he barely talks to.
like, you see what Negima did this, where it was like, oh, we have like 50 women in this one harem, but they actually got screen time. So
yeah. Dejima is the only one who did it right. But maybe Love Hina.
Yeah, well, Love Hina wasn't as much as like Negima though.
Right.
Like,
yeah, no, Negima, yeah.
the whole ass
like
class.
The best. Right.
And then additional characters outside of the class.
Right, exactly. All right, let's move on to Uzaki-chan wa Usobi Tai Season 2, Episode 9.
Yes. Apparently this was a filler episode, which makes sense. It felt fillery.
Okay, that you know what it reminded me of? Because I wonder. I think it's giving, this episode is giving, this is an ad for a location.
An ad? Yeah.
Very much like Josh and Chan. I will say, however, this is how it's done right, though. This is the ad done right. Because it's like, I could tell it was an ad because when they were talking about all the different baths you can take, I think it's like mid like a little note. It's like, oh, for either said like a limited time or like, oh, it changes
the seasons.
Changes during the season. Like, you wouldn't put that in unless you had a reason to, and the only reason why you would put that into the anime is if you anticipate people coming.
Yeah, and also that part where they were looking through like the guidebook of the place, it looked like those were real photos that were just like put into the scene. So maybe, right. But although if that place does exist, I want to go because they had like fucking wine baths and coffee baths. That's such a waste.
I know. I was like, wine bath.
Wine bath, like holy shit! Is that $1 million per bath?
Oh, right. Oh my god! It's like there's like one half of me wants to go to the wine bath and drink it, and then the other half is like,
do not.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because everyone I'd only go in if like I'd only drink from it if I was like the first one in. Like it was like me, you, and like other people, and then I'm just like, okay, guys, I'm gonna swim to the other side and start drinking. Yeah, that sounds cool. Like, I'm like the coffee one. What do you drink out of the coffee one?
If it was no one else there and it was just me, but even then I'd be like drinking like my own dirt, I guess, coming off my skin.
You could just take a shower before, right? Don't they shower before?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, if you shower before and you're wearing your
Listen, if you shower, you don't even need the bathing suit.
Well, they're wearing the bathing suits regardless.
Yeah. I had a bunch of really cute moments in this episode.
I like that they're focused on the family. Like it was like Uzaki and her family, not necessarily about the. Even when they had the chance, like when he showed up, Sakurai showed up, and they were like, "Oh, let's hang out." She's like, "No, spend time with your family." I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, I like that too. They're like, "No, just hang out with your family. It's fine. You came to be with them. Don't don't just ditch them." And I'm like, "That's so cute," and because they're so much better than me. Because the way I've been like, "Bye, mom." Like, Mom, I'll see you in an hour. Maybe 2.
Oh, and that little cute scene where she was like, "Oh, does she have something to say to me?" And he's like, "Oh, your swimsuit's also very cute today."
Oh yeah, that was cute. I thought she was referring to saying her first name.
Yeah, me too.
But nah, they're talking about the swimsuit, which was also cute. I like that. Yeah, the dad, of course, was very funny. I also like him as a dad. Ugh, God, like no, he's moving up the character roster very quickly. I'm like, oh, you care about your daughters and you just want to have fun with their family and hold on to these precious memories while they're still young. Oh my God. And then the scene where he's going back and forth, like stopping people from hitting on his daughters and his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many people to protect.
Right, and then they all started looking at him. They're like, "Oh my god, we love your body." Da, da. I'm not gonna lie. For a second, I thought it was the guys gonna start hitting on him.
Yeah, me too.
That would have made my episode of the week.
If it was guys hitting on him and then like his wife shows up and tries to get them to stop, that would be hilarious.
Right, that was really funny. So yeah, no, also another cute episode. Very straightforward. I enjoyed it.
Same.
Okay. Let us move on to our final anime of the night. We have excuse me. Utawarerumono no Hakuoro.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 23. So, well, she's just kind of having a meltdown, and like I said, I love how I was like, yeah. So, the whatchamacallit, the Tatari, they're kind of about to get out, but even when Ashoru gets the controller, it's all of a sudden it's like, oh no, too late. The chamber is too pressurized, blah blah blah, anime logic. Either way, they're out.
Yeah.
The Tatari escaped. And
this 3D CG has escaped and is consuming everyone in the city.
I love how Raiko's servant tried to like betray Woshi. She's like, I'm gonna show you how betrayal feels. And then homegirl just ran up on her and just stabbed.
Dies immediately.
Stabbed and dies immediately. I was like, what was that reason? But yeah. So then we find out the only way we can stop them is by essentially just nuking the village. Using the satellite weapon Amaterasu.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and at first I was like, oh, Amaterasu, okay, you have a weapon to use it. That's cool. I'm sure nothing bad's gonna happen to it, or I should say nothing's gonna happen to the city. Then they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be kind of nuclear fallout. Temperature's gonna be sub-zero. Basically.
Now it is.
And non-inhabitable.
It's gonna be Chernobyl all over again,
And then they were like, well, time to leave. And then Mikado's like, let me just detonate. And they're like, no. And he's like, girl, he's like, Andrew, I'm so sorry, but I'm kind of a 5,000-year-old man in a test tube. Hey, I kind of can't do shit.
Yeah, I think this one is on me.
Yeah, it's giving death.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna die.
Right. So they had their little sad goodbye. First of all, I meant how he was like, "Can you smile for me one more time, Andrew?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm about to watch you get blown to bits. Like, stop forcing me to be happy."
Sorry, don't have time. Bye.
Right. That was wild. I'm gagged that Woshi's lived. I really thought he was just gonna get blown.
Yeah, I'm mad that he lived.
Yeah, me too. Because I feel like even after that, he's gonna be like, "Well, that didn't work. Well, fuck it. I'm still gonna be. I don't know. I'm gonna find a way to get the power I want." Like a dummy bitch. I hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that's not the case. I hope I can't imagine him being gone forever.
Yeah.
No.
Did you know that there's actually like 5 episodes left? Because it sure didn't feel like it.
It feels like this is like the penultimate episode.
I swear to God, when it ended, because it ended on like a very like finalistic scene, like, oh, this is the final scene. I had to look like
I mean, we've been saying this. We've been saying this for how many episodes?
I know, but like literally, if it just ended there, it'd been fine. I'm like, this was a great show. I'm afraid to see where they go from here.
No more. But you know, I'm okay with it because Kuon finally got her man. Yay!
Yay, Kuon.
It's not even Haku and Kwan got together. I'm like, Kwan got her man.
Yeah, she fought for this one.
Right. She fought. She suffered.
She fought more for this love than Haku has fought anyone in this whole war.
Period. Man, she beat everyone's ass, including Haku, for Haku.
Like, you will be with me, goddammit. Stop making this difficult.
So yeah, that was good. That warmed the heart. I'm glad I didn't have to wait till like the last episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wonder if they're gonna like time skip and she's gonna be pregnant with his baby.
Imagine.
Can she get pregnant with his baby? No, you can't.
You can or you can't?
You can, right? Because then
I'm
she
pretty sure
born
you
from
can.
like the last dude.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So I actually, if they do that, I wouldn't mind. If like the last 4 episodes are just like post time skip, like a little mini arc of her child and like their children or whatever, I would be totally fine with that. Be like
Same.
like a whole setup for another season or something.
Agreed. Because we've been stuck here for this is our second season covering this specific range of time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind if they moved on to like the next generation.
Yep, and this series is getting a new game soon, I think. So that means there will be another generation.
All right.
Get to work. Get to work,
exactly.
Kaku.
Get to work, God. Yeah, I really like this anime. I really like this anime. It's just so
yes, it was a pleasant surprise.
It's just fun, enjoyable. I like it. But yeah, I think with that being said, we are done with our weekly reviews, and we're also done with the podcast. Only if you want to take it away.
Guys, if you enjoyed this week's episode of Waifu War Podcast, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you catch all the episodes as they go up every week. If you haven't already, do follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, and join the party on our Discord, all linked in the description down below. If you want, you can become a channel member or a patron and join us for our weekly live watches. We are watching Spy Family and Chainsaw Man this season, so you know what to do if you want to be a part of that. And Drew, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to eating my leftovers for at least a solid 2 to 3 more days.
I already finished my leftovers.
Yeah, I figured.
That's all we've been eating for the past like 3 days.
It's just leftovers.
It's just turkey, rice, mac and cheese, potato salad.
Oh, you make me want to make potato salad, but I'm too lazy. But yes.
And on that note, this has been Soberoni and
True We Do.
And I'll catch you later. Later.
Bye.